We got to know who they are. Got to know who Pete Buttigieg is. Young guy, fresh-faced, mayor of middle America, smart, served his country. Is he radical? Wow. Well, based on what he told Meghan McCain yesterday on ABC's The View, of course he is. How hard is it to say that if an 8-month-old baby is in the womb, that baby should not be destroyed? How hard is it to say if a baby is born alive after a botched abortion, that baby's life should be protected? How hard is that? That's not hard. It is for him, apparently. Here's cut 11. Very important. It's a little long. I want you to hear it in context. And I want you to recognize that anyone who pretends that Pete Buttigieg is some kind of a moderate is completely out to lunch. He is as radical as you fear. Infanticide, late-term abortion is radical. And if it's rare, and if it hardly ever happens, as they like to pretend, then, guess what? And I would completely concede it is not as commonplace as a first-term abortion. I get it. But if it's so exceptional, then stand up against it. But radical people won't. Radical people insist that murdering that baby is a right of the mother. Here's cut 11, Mayor Pete on ABC's The View with Meghan McCain.
Well, Mayor Pete, I respect you, and I think you're a really interesting politician. Britt Hume said that you are the most talented politician come up and rising. I agree with him. And I actually think you understand the middle of the country, probably because of where you're from. So I was really surprised. I saw an interview you did on a radio show where you were talking about abortion. And I think this got a lot of play in conservative media, conservative circles, where you were talking about, and this is your quote, there's a lot of parts of the Bible that talk about how life begins with breath. So even that is something we can interpret differently. It obviously, in my circles, was passed around everywhere because I think the interpretation from pro-life people like me was that you meant a baby actually being born, and then possible, there's a lot of controversy with Governor Northam and what it means and what time a woman should be able to have an abortion. I just wanted you to clarify because I found that statement to be pretty radical.
Well, I'm just pointing to the fact that different people will interpret their own moral lights and, for that matter, interpret Scripture differently. But we live in a country where it is extremely important that no one person have to be subjected to some other person's interpretation of their own religion. I know we're not going to agree.
Partial birth abortion is something that was coming up in, like I said, Governor Northam. It was a huge controversy when he was running for governor. I think people, even Democrats, and there are a lot of pro-life Democrats in the country, want to know exactly where your line is, because you will be the president if you win.
Right, but my point is that it shouldn't be up to a government official to draw the line. It should be up to the woman who's confronted with the choice.
Invoke infanticide after a baby was born, you'd be comfortable.
Does anybody seriously think that's what these cases are about?
Think
about the situation.
That, yes.
If this is a late-term situation, then by definition, it's one where a woman was expecting to carry the pregnancy to term. Then she gets the most, perhaps, devastating news of her life. We're talking about families that may have picked out a name, maybe assembling a crib, and they learn something excruciating and are faced with this terrible choice. And I don't know what to tell them morally about what they should do. I just know that I trust her, and her decision, medically or morally, isn't going to be any better because the government is commanding her to do it in a certain way.
I respect it.
And of course, the crowd goes wild. Now, let's just think about he claims that no government official should tell a mother what to do with an 8 or 9 month old baby in the womb, or perhaps a baby born alive, using his life begins at breath. I don't know what to tell them, he says. Well, I think we know what to tell them. Murder is murder. That's like saying a government official shouldn't allow you to put a pillow over the head of your 9-year-old child because she won't stop crying. And you can't smother your 9-year-old child to death. But I don't want to have a government official tell mom what to do because it's mom. I don't know what to tell them, he said. Such a smart guy. Such a religious guy. He invokes God all the time. And that's godless. That answer is not is not of God.